All right, it is time to lock in. We have about 2 months left. Today is October 4th, 10:59. The wife is sleeping. I thought I'd make this video and talk about how I am going to lock in for these next 2 months and some of the focus areas that I have. Before I talk about what I'm gonna do, first I wanna reflect on how this year has been so far. So, in the past 10 months, there has been quite a bit of change. And as with any change, there's always some sort of pattern disruption. So I will admit that there were a few goals that I just completely did not excel at. So for example, one of them is being like posting consistently. And that was the result, well, this is my excuse. That was the result of me moving from place to place. Of course, work is always busy, right? So that keeps me busy. And then I got married, so of course there were things in the background that took up some of that time, wedding planning, stuff like that, and then just other personal things that probably contributed to it. But at the end of the day, those are all probably excuses. I'll just be straight up. But I wouldn't change it any other way. I think in some aspects it's okay to not always hit the mark on every single point, every single day, every single month, because there are other priorities change. While I might not have been as consistent in the gym as I'd like to, what were the things that I traded that time for? Is probably spending time with family and spending time with my wife, and so I would consider that much more valuable in the grand scheme of things. The way I like to look at it is, if you're not happy, you're not going to perform in these other areas anyway. So if doing this thing is going to raise your happiness meter, likely that'll translate to the goal or task that you're going to do later. And obviously, with anything, this can be taken, too far one way, because obviously if you just eat ice cream because ice cream's awesome, Ben and Jerry's, triple chocolate fudge or whatever, that's not going to be great, right? So it comes with balance. With everything in life, it's just balance. Overall, this year has been relatively good. I think there were some areas that I could improve on. That's kind of the reflection of the first 10 months of 2025, which is absolutely insane that this time is just flown by so fast. All right, so what are my focus areas for the next 2 months? What am I looking at? What do I want to work on? And the whole point of sharing this with you is so that you can kind of get an idea of what other people are doing. You can kind of evaluate and see how this might apply to your life. One of the things I'm going to continue paying attention to is my fitness and my health. Say there was a part of the year where I kind of wasn't going in as consistent, and I wasn't believing in the results as much. But I recently actually got a membership to a gym, which is the first time I have had a membership in a long time. Prior, I was just working out in my apartment gym. And you know what? I was really against getting a gym membership because I was like, why would I pay to drive somewhere to work out? I do see the value in it because one of the nice things about obviously going to gym is you have variety, you can try different things. There's that social environment too, so I feel like the pressure of like, okay, like I can't just sit here for 10 minutes scrolling on my phone, like I gotta get the reps in because you have this guy standing waiting for you. So I kind of like that pressure because it forces you to move. And so I've also noticed my workouts have been longer, which is great. So I've been there for about 2.5 to 3 months, and I try to hit at least 4 times a week. And a part of that, I also want to be consistent again at taking my protein shakes. Protein shakes are just so nasty. I've had the same one over and over because it's like the best one of the ones that are not great. So it's just the whey chocolate shake one, the one that you get that's like yay big. There's this thing that one of my coworkers shared with me, and it's a protein shake sparkling cider, which you can get at Costco. Don't get me wrong, it sounds really weird. The first taste of it is a little weird, but I actually kind of like it. So I think this weekend I'm gonna go buy that because it's just another way to get some of those protein. It has like 30 grams of protein. And my goal with fitness is, of course, to stay healthy, to stay nimble, but also to work on my weak areas. And that's my back. So I'll be doing pull-ups and maybe working on some legs. I absolutely do not like legs for obvious reasons, but I know it's something that I should work on because I should be a well-rounded person, so not just being super good at one area. The next thing I want to learn about is continue to learn about finance and learning how I could be leveraging my money, learning how to just be smarter with money. Growing up, I would keep my money in a bank account and I would get afraid of like investing my money. So of course, as I've, past couple of years have been investing, trying to learn about what I can be doing to be smarter with my money, and understanding, hey, it does take money to make money, and risk is always going to be a thing. It's risky to not let your money do anything, and it's risky to put your money into stuff. And so just trying to continue to learn more about that side of the world that I'm not super familiar with. Continue to be smart with money, think about ways that I could be investing it better, leveraging it better, and then, of course, reducing costs that are not super helpful in life, so let's just say. The next thing is working on minimizing my distractions. I spend a ridiculous amount doom scrolling, and when TikTok first came out and I was posting more consistently there, my method of staying consistent creating content was to create more than you consume. And definitely these days, I definitely feel like I am consuming more than I'm creating. And it's not bad to consume. When you consume, you're constantly being put into other people's ideas and visions and perspectives. Like there's a message. For every piece of content, there's a message, and I don't think it's good for myself to consume and being influenced in all these sort of different directions. One example is I've never really been a huge sports person. Like I just not really cared about it. But definitely as I consume more content on TikTok, and learning about certain players, I've certainly become more invested in that, which, again, not saying it's a bad thing, but for me personally, I just know that it's not like I'm actually interested in these players because I genuinely care. It's definitely just because like I'm bored and I'm consuming to kind of fulfill that boredom of like, oh, I got nothing else to do, so let me learn about this player, let me learn about this drama, let me learn, okay, so now that takes space in my head. And then, oh, there's a game Sunday, so then now if we lose or we win, it's actually gonna have an impact on me, versus like a couple of years ago, if this game were happening, I'd be like, oh, well, I mean, it sucks, but I didn't spend my whole Sunday like looking at this, so every piece of content that's being consumed, there's a hidden message behind it. And so I just try to think about like, what are those things and how can I reduce it? Because I certainly want to be selective in the things that reach here, so that it can help shape my vision and my perspectives and the things that I do, and have it be more aligned to my vision. All right, so here's a small thing that I'm gonna try to work on for this next 2 months, and that's like perfecting my latte art. Creating latte art is pretty hard if you've never tried it. It's not as simple as just pouring milk and making art. It takes a lot of fine tuning, a lot of testing and practice, and so that's something that I want to try to perfect by the end of the year. So let's see, by the end of the year. So this is what my latte art looks like now. So obviously that's not good. So we're gonna try to get it to coffee shop level by the time this year ends. So we'll see if that's true. All right, so the next and last final thing that I want to focus on is being more intentional with the time that I have. One of the areas that I can improve on is not trying to optimize every minute, every hour, every day. I think I have a bad habit of thinking that every minute needs to be spent towards that, and if it doesn't contribute towards that, then it's time not well spent. And it can get into my head and make me kind of just have like not a great outlook for the day. And so I want to be more intentional about the time I'm spending and try to work on changing my perspective of how I'm spending time. And I'm the type of person that I'll be sitting and I'll be like watching a movie and I'm enjoying myself, but then I'll be thinking, oh, I could be doing something better, da 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 da. And it can be true, right? It might be true, but it's all about balancing. If I'm watching movies every hour of every day, then sure. But if I'm watching a movie here and there, I shouldn't feel bad for enjoying things, right? So I think it's just thinking about that. I'll be more grounded in that way, and that when I spend time with people or doing things, I could be more present and not always trying to think about, okay, but how is this contributing to my goal, you know? So I think trying to work on that. And then of course, creating content, staying consistent, you know, trying not to let myself overthink and get frustrated and all this stuff. Like I'm making videos for the internet. This is supposed to be fun. This is, it's not supposed to be serious. It's not a job. I am monetized, but you know, I haven't taken a paycheck from it just yet. But the goal of this is to have fun. The goal of this is to be creative. The goal of this is to share my voice. The goal is not to necessarily try to optimize everything, right? I want to keep staying focused about creating content. I believe in the slow growth of the channel. About a year ago is when I started really posting consistently. So I'm going to make a video about that, of my experience of posting on YouTube for a year, and continue finding my voice, continue figuring out what it is that I can do to provide value for the people watching. All right, that's it. That's the video. So really appreciate if you made it this far. I'd love to hear the things that you are gonna try to lock in on, or focus in on, or hone in on for the last couple of months of this year. It's 11/24 and probably gonna go to a farmer's market. So that'll be exciting because it's a harvest market, so it's gonna be like more fall themed. Gonna edit this video later today and then just rest and have a good weekend, and that's gonna be the plan for today. All right, thanks so much for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.